So a number of my subscribers here, I think, are either solo entrepreneurs or solo developers, or maybe they want to be like a real startup founder that builds something like as big as Facebook and it takes over the world in some way. And at any rate, whichever camp you fall into, I came across some advice that I think will be really beneficial to you. I know it was to me, and so I wanted to share it with all of you. The advice comes from an article that I found, actually it was emailed to me, from someone named Andrew Chen, who is a startup founder, a former startup founder. He's also worked at Uber in the early days as helping out with their growth. And I think now he's an investor with Andreessen Horowitz, which is a massive, massive investment firm. So the idea is that you should always be launching, talking about what you're doing, being authentic with what you're doing. And I wanted to go through this post to this article that he had here. And this is in contrast to this idea, this more traditional idea that you have this big bang approach, which is to say that you completely build your product, you save. You don't tell anyone about it other than that you're working on something, and only if they ask. And then once you're ready, and only once you're ready, you tell the world. And the idea is that you expect or hope really that the world cares and that the world is going to say, yes, Tim or John or whatever your name is, this is a fantastic product, we will use it. And rarely does it actually work out that way these days, because in the reality is that people don't really care, frankly. They don't want to be sold to. They want to have conversations with people. They want to develop relationships with people, and they want to follow a story. And so your job as a founder or as a solo developer, whatever it is to tell that story, to tell your story. And you do that over time through the idea of always be launching. So let's go ahead and go through what Andrew is saying here. Product launches in the social media era are fundamentally different. Social media has changed the way we launch products. Instead of a big bang launch, a spike of attention, we have always be launching. The idea that you need to nonstop / constantly talk about your product, its capabilities, case studies, and achievements. You don't save up for announcements. You just go. This is the optimal strategy in a world of abundance. And abundance is caused by infinite feeds, plentiful influencers, and a short news cycle that devours news content or new content every hour. We've all experienced that, right? Like, who here watches TV? Who here gets their news from TV news channels anymore? Some of you, maybe. But like, who here gets their news from Twitter or TikTok or Facebook or even the Google News feed that changes every hour or every minute even maybe? I don't know. I mean, I do. I get my news from all those places, right? So there is a plentiful amount, an abundant amount of data, of information, of news, of content that we can all consume. And so to save it up for this one big bang approach or this one single launch that you're going to have, expecting that people are going to see it, is kind of dumb, where we live in a world where there is so much content now. It's always changing, it's always moving. So you want to have as many opportunities as possible to get your content seen when someone's looking, which is all the time. The ABL philosophy emphasizes the following. It's a relationship, not an advertisement. That's what I was saying. No one wants to be sold to. So launching isn't a one-time thing, but rather a long-term narrative you're telling the market, sometimes punctuated by bits of big news and often small things too. Yes, no one wants to be sold to. It's a relationship. It's a story. Make sure that you're telling that story, your story. Drumbeat, not big bang. A steady drumbeat of screenshots, videos, demos, content, and discussion is what you're building. Wins and more wins. Publicizing small wins and big case studies with interviews from customers and partners. Communicate, don't just broadcast. Replies, comments, discussion alongside people in the ecosystem that are discussing products in your category. That's a pretty big one too. Be a part of the conversation, right? You are not the conversation. I think this is something that traditional media, traditional advertising, traditional PR, I say that as someone who studied advertising. My bachelor's degree is in advertising. I learned about this big bang approach to things when you save up, when you're very polished and such, right? No longer the case. It doesn't really work like that anymore. Educate and help, don't just sell. Lessons learned, unexpected events, and counterintuitive insights gleaned from running your business. Okay. But I would expand this into not just educate and help, but have a conversation, be a part of the conversation. You can lead the conversation, that's totally fine, but you're not the conversation. You are not the conversation. Other people are a part of that conversation. And your contributions to such a conversation can be educating people, can be helping people. That's what I try to do on this YouTube channel with coding videos. But it can also be talking about your product. It can also be talking about other people's products. Be a part of whatever is going on. That's totally fine. Long-term, not one time. A long-term view on engaging your ecosystem, not to drive a lot of attention in one spike, but to build a large mailing list or community to share content over time. Speaking of a community, I just created a Discord server for my channel. And if you're interested in joining, you can find a link in the description. So I hope to see you over there. Go direct, a purposeful disengagement from traditional gatekeepers like journalists, partners, conferences. Instead, go direct and talk to folks as humans, as a human. Yeah. Use social media is what I think the solution to that is. Like, use social media, right? Some of this will resonate, but remember, it's not always this way, or it was not always this way. Old school comms PR emphasize many opposite concepts. They say, be polished and buttoned up. Hold off until you have enough for a big bang launch, because you only have one chance. Suck up to gatekeepers, hire all those agencies, pay all those experts. It comes from the dynamics of scarcity, where a newspaper only has so much space on their front page, and journalists will only write about you once in a blue moon. In the past, there were only a few important newspapers and TV channels to watch, but things have changed. We're in a world of abundance, media, not scarcity. Social media. Basically, that's what they're talking about. If you go on social media, if you start joining the conversation, if you start posting content, you essentially can become your own media source, your own news agency, and you get to produce that content, share that content with the world that people can consume, and then also go and be a part of it. And this is incredible for what you're doing, because here's something that not a lot of people realize, or not a lot of people talk about, which is that being a part of the conversation can not only help market your product, but also help expand or improve your product. And the reason I say that is because when you join the conversation with other people, you get to learn about those people. And when you get to learn about those people, you get to make your product better. The problem with the BBL, Big Bang Launch, is that it doesn't work anymore. Journalists want to critique tech, not advocate for it. Journalists also get their distribution via social media because they lack it themselves. This goes back to what I was just saying, where if you start posting on social media, become somewhat of an influencer, gain a following, you basically become your own media source that journalists won't be able to provide you. Billions of people get their content from feeds, not newspapers, and even successful traditional launches fail to drive real signups / customers. By the way, doing that thing of like creating content, that's like, I genuinely enjoy making YouTube videos. It's a lot of fun. I get to learn a lot of stuff. But also, at some point, I'm going to be launching products, and I then am able to market them through my YouTube channel. And that's kind of all part of the plan, right? I get to do something I'm passionate about and then also monetize it somewhere along the way, right? Like Dev Cafe, the website that I'm working on right now. You can check it out down below in the description. There will be some sort of paid tier or way for me to make money off of it. Don't know exactly how that's going to work as of yet, but it will be there at one point. The news cycle has been shortened, and as a result, the next day everyone forgets about it. Very true. Believe me, I've seen many founders get confused when they get covered by TechCrunch, see nothing, but then go viral on X or Hacker News and get a flood. Very true. The Big Bang launch is also intoxicating to people who are a bit naturally shy. It's kind of me, to be honest. Who suffer from imposter syndrome, also me. Who don't want to speak up, sort of me sometimes. If you surround yourself with PR experts who can program you with all the right things to say, then with enough preparation, then the launch will go well. Then you can put it behind you and go back to running the business. Doesn't work anymore. That was what you should not be doing. ABL in the world of abundance. Always be launching in the world of abundance. In this new world of feeds, always be launching is the right strategy. The reason is that your 15 minutes of fame has now shortened to 5, and realistically, your users won't care at first. what you have to say. I had that experience with my own YouTube channel. Like, obviously everyone starts out at zero, and for a while, and even largely now, like I feel like I'm just getting back into the swing of things with making more regular videos, and there's no reason for anyone to care. I have to build up that reputation, and you will as well. Announce your new startup so I'm doing that too. And just a few friends will congratulate you. Show screenshots of your demo and you'll get a few more pings. It's only the long, gradual accumulation of these launches with occasional random spikes alongside collecting emails for your mailing list, gathering followers via social, that over time people come to know who you are. The biggest psychological barrier is to ask founders to talk more, to write down what they're excited about their milestones, and to join the dialogue. It's difficult because in the fog of war, that is startup life. It's hard to know how to be right. Whew. Man, no truer thing has been said. As a startup founder, you know where you need to go. You have no idea if the choices that you're making are the right ones. Like, you can make an educated guess, obviously. You use the information that you have to make the best choice possible, right? But ultimately, you have zero clue. It's not like working at a company or for someone else where like they tell you what to do. And if you do those things and maybe you go above and beyond, like, you know that you're going to be successful. For a startup, you have literally no idea because there's a large amount of luck. You do, to a large extent, create your own luck by working your butt off. But then also, like, the market tells you if you're going to be successful or not. And it's really difficult, right? It's really hard to be able to do that. But it's part of the fun to lower the bar. Say one thing one day and then do a write-up about what you're doing wrong or about why you're wrong the next. Launch a product, then share the metrics, but then talk about about all the bugs and problems. It's the unvarnished view that gathers supporters. Quantity is a quality all on its own. Very true. ABL builds on the natural strengths of the new social media environment. More content and more feeds on more days means that you accumulate reach over time, rather than expecting it to all happen at once. And once your followers hit critical mass, and frankly, your skill set becomes more refined, you'll start getting threads and content able to pop off in a repeated way. Okay, I don't know if this is obvious or not. I think it has to be obvious. I'm like still a bit uncomfortable in front of the camera. And one of the things I really want to work on and like why I'm doing YouTube videos and hopefully doing them more often is because I want to get more relaxed, more comfortable. I feel like I kind of like talk too much or like I start thinking too much and then my talking gets messed up. But either way, I'm working on that. And that's something that you should be doing too. Like a number of people have put in the comments on videos through my channel that they're solo developers. This is for you. This is literally for you. Go make a video. Continue to comment on my videos. We can continue having the conversation. Join my Discord server, link in the description below. Like, continue having those conversations, right? Because putting yourself out there is really important. Authenticity. Authenticity helps. When you talk to other humans on social from your personal account and talk like a real person, not a corpo bot, it makes a difference. When you share a win or a lesson you've learned, people will engage in ways they'd never engage an official company account. It's very true. If people genuinely like you, they will like your product. And part of the deprogramming from the Big Bang mentality is to actually talk like a human instead of a corporate marketing person. I would actually say that, like, interestingly enough, when I was studying advertising, there was a very weird and interesting relationship between some of the classes where, like, you had the more traditional side that was teaching us about, you know, this is PR, and like you make these very polished statements and how testing us, how should you make a statement about this? How would you write it? Doing copy is like the text that you write, not copywriting law. Doing the copy to have a very polished, refined message to users, to customers. And then there was this other side where you could kind of see it more and more creeping in, which was the social media aspect and that, you know, personal branding type stuff. And as time went on, that other side got more and more prominent in the curriculum of the major. I graduated 6 years ago, something like 6.5 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. I can only imagine how much more it's become more about social media, I don't know about less about that polished PR. I mean, I think there's still room for that. There always will be. But I think the social media aspect of it and creating that personal brand has probably become more and more relevant in the past 6 or 7 years since I was there. And it was already very relevant, right? Especially with this article. I think this kind of backs everything up. Pretty successful guy here talking about this too. So here's what you got to do. Here's the advice for getting ready, for getting into the game of Always Be Launching. All right, here you go. When you're ready to start the Always Be Launching journey, I have a few ideas. Step 1, go to your favorite social app and type in your latest small win at work. Hit share. Do it again every day, but include any of the following: a quote from a customer that you liked, your favorite feature from your product, something you learned at work recently, a recent article you read in a work context, someone who helped you along the way and what they taught you, or anything else. Share something that's a few lines and do it again every day. Don't outsource it to anyone else. Make sure you do it yourself and it speaks to you. It's really that easy. Sorry, I'm thinking at the same time that I'm reading, and that's why my reading is getting messed up. And then when you have something big to announce or say, just do it. Don't overthink it. The next day, take that big announcement and announce it in a different way and repeat. The media landscape is post-scarcity, and we need to retire the Big Bang launch as the strategy. Always be launching and launch a little each week. Go directly to your customers, your investors, and your supporters. Build over time, not in one go, and learn to tell the truth. Here is the action item for me on that one. I've been working on this Dev Cafe thing. So I'm going to try and make a video. It could be a small video, could be a 30-second video, could be a 60-second video, but I'm going to try and make an update of some kind every single day on this channel, not just until I launch it, but just in perpetuity, forever, hopefully. Could have something to do with the technology that I'm using, could have something to do with some thought process, I don't know, whatever it is, but like a short video every single day talking about what I did and the wins and the struggles that I'm having, in addition to some actual tutorial videos that I think I'm currently working on. I'm working on one about Auth.js and Next.js that I think would be interesting. So anyway, hope that was a good video for you guys. I know a lot of you, or at least some of you, are thinking about starting a business or want to start a business or are independent software engineers or solo entrepreneurs. And so hopefully this is something that could resonate with you and that was interesting and meaningful. If you like this kind of content, if you want to learn more about the stuff that I'm working on, links are down in the description below. Join the Discord server. Check out Dev Cafe, link down below again. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. See ya.